I thought I'd do a quick video about the pros and cons of having a rabbit colony. In a colony, multiple rabbits can live together. It's pretty cool because then they have friends and like they snuggle together and they groom each other and they just have fun together, and I think that's really important for rabbits. You have bedding. I use wood shavings because those don't have mites on them. Shavings are a source of carbon, so you balance the carbon with the nitrogen so there's no smell. And then you have the perfect compost to put on your garden. What I really like about the colony is that you don't keep bumping your rabbit when you open the door. With the cages we have, the doors open inwards, and I don't know why someone would build it like that, but that is how it is. And so whenever you open the door, your rabbit's always coming excited to see you, and you have to bump it open to open the door. You're like bumping his face and you're pushing him back, and then you just have to close it, and it's just really hard. It's hard for me and it's hard for the rabbits, and so this colony, they don't get bumped every time you open the door, and I really like that. A really big pro is the quality of life for a rabbit. In a colony, they have a lot more room to run around, to jump and play and sniff and stand up and do all manner of things that it's sort of really hard to do in a cage. And with that, if you have meat rabbits in a colony, all your meat will be a lot more lean and it won't have so much fat on it. So because the rabbits are exercising so much that they're not fatty rabbits, that they have more ability to be skinnier and lean, and that's what rabbit meat should be, a lean meat, so that's a good thing. One thing I really like about colonies is that generally they're less expensive than building hutches. About $100 to $200 to build a good quality hutch for a doe and all her babies. With a colony, you spend, I don't know, maybe that much, maybe less though, but you can have multiple does in the same colony. And if you already have, a scrap wire or something, you can use that, and then you don't have the cost of wire or like stuff like that, Really big pro is just the babies. When you have baby rabbits in a colony, I don't know, they're so much more happy and active, and they're just so much better, I feel. Like when they're in cages, they're like, they can't move around and can't be babies and can't run and as well, and I just feel like they're better babies and they're cuter and they get more exercise, and therefore they have better meat because they live in a colony. So that's another really big pro. Another really great thing I like about a colony is that you can change the shape of it and build the shape different depending on your rabbitry setup. So we have this very narrow space, and we decided to make our colony long and narrow. Some people have a really wide space, but they don't have very much of it, so they make theirs fat and wide. But with cages, you have a set size, and you have to put that size somewhere, and if your cage won't fit in anywhere you have to move it, and you have to it's sort of hard to do. I like colonies in that you can make them any size or length you want. Another pro of having rabbits in a colony is you have to do the morning chores a lot less. In cages, there's one rabbit in every cage because that's all it can fit. So if you have like 5 rabbits, then you have to do 5 foods, 5 waters, 5 hays, 5 greens, all that stuff 5 times. But if you have a colony and you have 2 or 3 does in the same spot and all their babies are in the same spot, and then you have your buck, then you have like 2 chores to do. 2 foods, 2 waters, 2 hays. Talk about some cons. One really big con that I can think of is the water. Every morning, every night, the rabbits' water in the colony is very dirty. Like they dig and they just spread all the bedding and they put it in their water, and then you have to clean it out. And not only is that hard for you, but the rabbits won't drink dirty water, so that is sort of really annoying. Thing is digging out. For some colonies, digging out is a really big problem in their colony because they're on the ground. I put wire on the ground everywhere. It's connected to everything so that there's no way a rabbit can possibly escape. But in my last colony, rabbits would dig out all the time, and then you're dealing with a ton of just escaped rabbits and all the sicknesses they bring in from chickens. It's just all this crazy stuff. So digging out could be considered a con of a colony. I consider a con of having a rabbit colony also is that you have to build your colony. You can't buy ready-made colonies like you can ready-made cages. Now, some people want to build their cages anyway, so that might be a con for them. But if you're do a custom colony, then you're gonna have to build it yourself. You can just use like folding dog exercise pens and like put those together and make a colony, but I like my colony because I can make it super high so that the rabbits for sure can't jump out. That was a really big one for me because one of my friend's rabbits, she had like a 3-foot high thing and her rabbit escaped and like bred all her girls, and it was sort of crazy. So I like these walls, but it was really hard to build. Well, it took a really long time. Con of having a rabbit colony is that you need bedding. Now you can use wood chips or paper shavings, but we don't have a lot of wood chips around here because we live like right next door to a wood chipping company, so they take all the wood chips in all the surrounding towns, so we can't get free wood chips or even cheap wood chips. So I just buy horse shavings stuff. They're like, I don't know, $5 or $10 a bag, and that's what I use, but that is another expense with a colony that you don't have with the cage. Maybe another con could be you can't grab them as easily. If you have a really mean rabbit and they're in a big old colony, then like, you know, if you have to clip their nails or something, then you have to like chase them to get. Many rabbits like these two, just like they come up to you for pets, and they just, you know, when you feed them they come up to you and like they're super nice, so it's not a problem here. Consider both a pro and a con of having a colony is that your rabbit always comes up to you and wants you to pet it. People might consider this a huge pro because who doesn't want to pet a rabbit all the time? And then for them actually wanting you to pet them, that's actually sometimes pretty big. That doesn't happen very often in cages. People, it could get annoying, like, you know, once you go to grab the food and there's a rabbit in your face wanting you to pet it, and then you go to grab the water and he sloshes the water bowl because he wants you to pet him and stuff, so that could be considered a con or a pro, depending on who you are. So I think that a colony is totally worth all the very few cons that there is. I think they're way better than cages, and I'm planning on making a colony for the Angoras. So from this corner out to sort of that corner of his cage, all the way back to that beam. Let's see if we can get the hole that much. It looks bigger in real life. Is gonna be Angora colony, but it's not gonna have bedding because the Angoras have such fluffy, beautiful fur. It gets caught in the bedding, and then it's really hard to groom out all the time. So I was sort of planning on doing linoleum floor, sort of having like a bit of your house in the barn. Because I've always thought having a rabbit in the house would be so much fun. So I'm going to potty train them and then have a linoleum floor with wire around so they don't escape. And then use doggy X-pen things to sort of block bugs from does and stuff. And it'll be so much fun. Because the Angoras are in cages because they can't be on bedding. So that's sort of what's holding me back. But it's not going to happen anymore. I don't know when this is going to happen. It'll probably take a long time for this to actually come to pass. But